watches basketball knows how sensational Kawhi Leonard is. But that's where the hate comes in because of the lack of availability spanning years. He came into these playoffs having missed 15 of the Clippers' last 19 playoff games. We know what Kawhi Leonard is when he's available. We saw him win a Finals MVP when he was in San Antonio. We saw him win another Finals MVP when he was in Toronto. But the reality is that there was such a flagrant lack of availability. That's why we said what we said about him. We saw Kawhi Leonard drop 38 one game, 31 another, walk off the court, look perfectly fine, and then the next day we learn he out for the rest of the playoffs.
We got to talk about Kawhi and Stephen A. Stephen A. laments that Kawhi Leonard's career is not up to par. Now, Kawhi is the reason for the load management. He was the start of it, right?
Nah.
In San Antonio.
Since the 2019 Raptors run, yeah.
Nah,
the load management.
I would not put that on Kawhi Leonard as the start of the load management.
Oh, that was crazy. Yo, the way you said it was crazy.
Well, he the face of it. The coach started it. Pop started it with him, right?
With Tim Duncan and with Tony Parker first.
Blame us for every damn thing.
And Manu Ginobili. That's who started the load management. Kawhi Leonard was then drafted as a rookie, and he wasn't doing load management. He got hurt. He's had injury. He's like a Grant Hill. He's had injury issues his whole career. And that's what Stephen A is lamenting, is he's gotten hurt. When you watch this guy when he's healthy, man, he's giving the business to anybody, man. He's duking it out with Luka. He's giving it to LeBron. He's beating the Warriors, right? The problem is he's just hurt a lot, man. And it's hurt his ability to like put a career on paper that matches the talent that we see when he's healthy. I mean, if somebody were to say, hey, man, there's a dude who's been playing as long as Kawhi and he scored less career points than Antoine Walker, you'd be like, oh, is that good? And you'd be like, nah, the dude is amazing, man. He's off the chain. You'd be like, yeah, but Antoine Walker's better if we talking about career, right? That's what we're lamenting, man. When Kawhi is healthy, he is an elite level talent. One of the best players we've ever seen. But it hurts when he's not healthy. I mean, you think about it just like any other sport, right? When a guy has a ton of talent and he just is not available often, it's tough for the fans. You want to see this guy play. You're just talking about what ifs all the time instead of what he did. We want less what if and we want more Kawhi did X. What we saw in that playoff game a couple nights ago, absolutely sensational. Can we depend on seeing that for the rest of the playoffs and for all next season? We can't, and that's the sad part.
Well, you talk about what he did. I mean, yeah, I agree with you 100%. 2 Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. I think the only guy to destroy peak LeBron, like when he was at his peak in 2014, and then stop the Warriors from their dynasty in 2019, I believe it was. So, I mean, I think Stephen A might be lamenting a missed legacy opportunity. But as far as greatness, I think that's already baked in. I think he's shown his greatness, that he's great. If he's on the court and if he's healthy. Those are the two things. If he's on the court and he's healthy, he's hard to stop.
But I mean, it's like this, right?
And people are saying, well, does he need another championship? I mean, all right, how you define need? I mean, I think if you're talking about Hall of Fame, wouldn't you say, I'd say he was already there. I mean, only 3 players have won Finals MVP with 2 different teams: Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, and Kawhi Leonard. I mean, that puts you somewhere, right?
So is he a top small forward all time? Is he better than Larry Bird?
I mean, if we're going to address playoff numbers and the games that he's in there, yeah.
I was going to say, yeah.
But here's the thing:
the best that he's healthy and playing.
As anyone says, the best ability is availability, and he gets hurt too much. Out of the last 5 years, he was injured for 4 of them. And he was out. He was out for the rest of the playoffs. In 2021, he was out. Tore ACL. Injured for the rest of the playoffs. They lost. Clippers again. Out in the first round. Injured the last 3 games. And then last year, out. First round, injured again with his right knee. I mean, he's a great player, but again, the best ability is availability. And if you're not available, then you can't be up there with the best because
ain't availability nestled all in together with the great shot, good footwork, great defense, speed, ball handling, availability.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
I
agree.
But if you're not available, then
So can we?
Not available. Yeah.
Is it fair to grade a player on that? I mean,
on availability,
to me it is. I agree with Joe. If you're not there, we can't. We gotta critique that.
Oh,
so
I get it.
No matter what,
but when you're there and you're playing and you're healthy, how good a player are you? How good are you compared to the players that are in your peer group when you're playing against in the playoffs? When you're putting up 30 in 2019, when you're doing like Jordan, putting up 30 points per game, hitting the only Game 7 buzzer beater. Come on. Like, got it. I understand that, he's not healthy, but I don't think that should disqualify him. So I understand what Stephen A. Smith is saying. I agree, but I also disagree. So I would say, in my opinion, I say yes and no. Yes, because of his skill set, and I think he's a top 10 player. No, because of his availability and the not being able to play.
So one of the things
does have the championship.
Get up, old man.
So one of the things I think like NBA players will tell you is there's a ton of people out there who are super talented. Can you do it night in, night out in the grind of the NBA season and then rise to the level of doing it in the playoffs? And then after all of that, can you stay healthy and get stronger over the offseason and do it again? And can you do it again? And can you do it again? I mean, when you look at Kawhi Leonard, this is what Stephen A. Smith is lamenting.
Now, look, you came and recruited me, man. You disappoint me, brother. You disappoint me. The disappointment here is you. Me. Yes. Look, you know who I am. You know what I would do.
When you think about Kawhi Leonard and how good he is when he's healthy, you would say, all right, well, when he's healthy, he's doing it. His career scoring average is a flat 20. Is that doing it when he's healthy? Like, does that say to you when that guy was healthy, he was one of the best players out there? To
Absolutely
me, it doesn't.
not.
No.
And the reason it's so low is because he's got such low availability. He's not able to bulk those numbers up from the early years he didn't play much. So that's what he's saying. He's saying when you look at the stats he's putting on paper, and then when we watch him play when he's healthy, they don't match.
He's like an and one player. He's like an and one player. Or a globetrotter. He's like a globetrotter.
If the season was 20 games, he would be Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah.
But look, no matter what we say, he's going to make the Hall of Fame. I hate to say it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He will be in the Hall of Fame. He should. But there's a guy out there named Robert Ory that has 7 rings and will never see it.
But the thing
but he was hitting some big shots though.
But he's not a Hall of Famer. He ain't no Hall of Famer. We know that. But what we're lamenting is that my kids aren't going to understand how good Kawhi Leonard really was. Because when they do the rack and stack like guys do now, well, how many career points did he have? LeBron scored more points than anybody else. So he's way better than Kawhi Leonard. It's going to be very difficult to explain with the body of work that, hold on now, when Kawhi Leonard was on, him and Bron was having a tangle. They was almost equal. Kawhi did many things better than him, but it's not going to show. And that's what's sad is that if he had been healthy, he'd have on paper a career where you'd have to say the generation, right, would be a LeBron, a Steph Curry, a Kevin Durant, and a Kawhi Leonard. But injuries have taken him out of that conversation.
Is Kawhi
And I
Leonard
think that's what Stephen A. was saying. I think that's what he was lamenting, that it was it's a missed opportunity.
is Kawhi Leonard first ballot?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they gonna give it to him. They gonna give it to him.
No doubt.
No, but we're asking, should he be first ballot? Not whether or not they're going to give it to him.
Absolutely, he should be first ballot.
Yeah.
I don't think he should.
Absolutely.
Me neither.
I think it's going to depend on. I think it's going to depend on the perception of what people say. That availability does pop its head up and start. Just like you said, Mark. I mean, he start putting out the numbers and the stats, and it's like, oh, well, this guy just looks kind of average. I mean, like,
yeah.
But then you got to say, well, wait a minute. Let's look at the peaks. Let's look at the hilltops.
No,
look at his highlights.
What matters to people is, and I know a bunch of people, NBA fans, are going to hate hearing this, but rings matter. And not only do rings matter, but being the reason for your team winning the ring matters. Kawhi Leonard was the reason they won the ring in San Antonio, and he was for sure the reason Toronto won the ring, and he was possibly the best player in the league that season. Those are heights that barely any players in NBA history have ever reached. Him reaching those heights, he's definitely in the Hall of Fame.
And also,
him doing it on two different teams. Only three people have done that.
I don't care about doing it on different teams. That's just the era, man. Players used to not move like that. I don't care if you did it with different teams. I just care, can you do it?
Well, he did it.
He beat LeBron twice.
A third ring for Kawhi. What conversation does that put him in, or if any?
You already got three.
That's a bad thing. It
he got two.
Put him in no different conversation.
No different conversation.
Nah, he doesn't get in a different conversation. Like, can you say if he wins a third ring? If he wins a third ring, is he above Kevin Durant?
No.
That's what I mean.
Nah.
And I think that's due to body of work. Kawhi hasn't even played enough games to he should have an MVP, right? He should have an MVP season where he's the best player. He's never going to have that. He doesn't play enough games. He played 37 games this season. 37.
Came right in there, took a seat at the table.
I love Kawhi, but the injuries take that away from him. But I don't think winning another ring is going to help. It's the body of work that is all of these players are really, really good, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that what you say, what's one of the most amazing stats about Michael Jordan? During his last three-peat, when he came back, he played all 82 games every season of those three-peats and every playoff game. That is an amazing stat. That is an amazing stat, right? That is next level. Kawhi, he can't even say he played 80% of them. But Kevin Durant plays a lot of them, and that's kind of what gives him the edge. Availability does matter, and I think people don't talk about it enough.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Kawhi, he's a magician. I mean, missed 45 games to come sit right at the table. and get the big piece of chicken.
When you drop 39 on 15 and 19 on Denver Nuggets, he was out there looking unstoppable like a video game player, man.
Yeah, he was.